You winning that title is a bit of a surprise at the time. Going into the match, on house shows, they're subbing out Jake. So you're actually having to cop. People are going to have to cop.
I'm losing every night.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it was absolutely wonderful for my career that I was losing every night. Absolutely marvelous.
to the likes of the S.D. Joneses and Pedro Moraleses, perhaps, of the world,
or anyone else. If they didn't have anyone, they would call someone from another territory that we might be in, like Milwaukee, and it would be the Crusher. Bring him out of retirement, let him kick the shit out of me for 10 minutes for Chicago and Detroit and Milwaukee and Green Bay and Denver. That's really helped my career. I wish now I hadn't have broken Jake's neck so that he wasn't in rehab.
I'm surprised you never showed up and Chief Jay wasn't in a singlet waiting for you to get an easy fall.
Really?
Steamboat wanted time off to be with his family. That's why the quick title change?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you get picked to be the guy? Sometimes we hear Butch Reed doesn't show up, and
Yeah, and Butch now has said he was there.
Oh.
But he wasn't.
Oh,
And
he
Butch,
says he was there.
He says he was there, but Butch was not there. Butch does not remember not being there, I guess. But Butch says, if you look at the photo in the magazine, I'm in the photo with the celebration. Butch, the celebration was the next night in Syracuse, in the War Memorial building in Syracuse looked exactly like the War Memorial in Buffalo. They were the exact same architect, everything, even the locker rooms. The paint was the same.
Oh.
And we staged the party the next night in Syracuse, and Butch was there, and he was in the picture with the celebration.
Different night.
Different night. There was no celebration the first night. Other than me and Jimmy Hart, and I had a busted lip where Steamboat had chopped me across the face. The great worker Ricky Steamboat was.
So
I had
when
a big busted lip. Fabulous worker.
Could happen to anybody, right?
I never hit him like that.
You're not saying it was intentionally stiff, are you?
I don't know. It's shit happens. I mean, that's a minor detail.
Well, but it's one I'm interested in drilling into another time, perhaps.
Yeah, of why he hooked me so tight that I couldn't catch the second rope, and I barely grabbed the bottom rope, and he had his shoulder up. Okay. All right, Ricky, you didn't want to do the job. Okay, it's fine.
Does he voice any opposition to it when
none
he's
at
told?
all. None.
Okay.
Just years later said he didn't. He hated losing to an Elvis impersonator.
Right, I did hear that.
Okay. I didn't like Elvis. I just dressed that way. And I was a cheap imitation that didn't do an Elvis impersonation. I did a bad Elvis impersonation.
But that's why it worked.
That's right, because I wanted people to hate me.
Of course. Listen, I need to know who comes up to you and tells you that you're going to get the strap.
Oh, gosh, Vince, we were in the hallway in Buffalo. I had just come out of doing some interviews. Hogan and Vince were standing there in this very small hallway, and they were talking, and then Hogan steps back against the wall so we could go past, and he went, "What about this guy?" So I don't know what they were talking about. Obviously, they were talking about Steamboat and the Intercontinental title, and what are they going to do about it? And Hogan said, "What about this guy?" And Vince says, "Yeah, maybe so." He said, "I'll let you guys talk." And he walks away, and Jimmy walks away, and leaves me and Vince there, and Vince tells me about what's going on with Steamboat and everything, and he needs the belt in the town, and if he gave me the opportunity, would I run with it? I said, if you give me the opportunity to run with that belt, I don't want a day off. I will go until I drop.
Right.
Because I knew that this was my window of opportunity.
Right.
And you don't say, well, I'd like to have the belt, but I'd like to only work 4 days a week. Well, fuck you, Honky Tonk man. You pack your shit and go like Strombo said. You're not happy? Get out of here. I mean, you got attitude? Yeah, well, give me the belt.
And he needed the switch that night.
Yeah.
He didn't want to give Butch a chance to show up or to come the following night. It had to happen.
Well, obviously, it was a conversation that going on either during the course of the week or during the course of the time that Ricky. See, now you got to understand, Ricky gets the belt at WrestleMania in like March 28th or 29th. I don't know the date in Detroit. You would have that date. It was somewhere toward the end of March. I think it's 28th or 29th of March. And the night happened to be like June 6th or 5th or 6th or something in June. So Ricky had the belt for 8 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks. So they had had a little bit of time to think about what they were going to do with it. And I guess they wanted to switch it that night, and it was going to be for Butch, and Butch wasn't there. Now, this is what I just picked up along the way, that they were going to do it with Butch. And he was, at that point in time, when I walked down the hallway and Hogan said, "What about him?" Butch still wasn't in the building.
Right.
And Vince made a decision right there. We're not waiting any longer.